All right, the next thing coming up here with Photoshop, or actually if you're doing it at home, it's with Photo P, is a YouTube channel banner, or YouTube channel art, if you want to call it that. I'm on Google Classroom right now, and the only thing posted here on Google Classroom is a handout that describes the assignment. And it's a Thursday, Friday thing. This is a 2-day thing. Some people get it done in one day, others do not. Sometimes you just have a lot of things that you're putting into your work, and so it takes a little bit more time. So it will be a 2-day deal, not officially due until Monday, but if you were at school, what would be happening is we would spend Thursday's class and Friday's class working on this if you needed to. All right, so kind of work with that in mind. It's a 2-day deal. Now the handout, I am going to show some of the handout, and you'll just have to make some adjustments if you're doing this at home on your Chromebook, which I'll show you in just a moment here. All right, so the idea is this: we're going to use what you know about Photoshop to create an example of some YouTube channel art, or you could call it a YouTube banner. And here are the required things. There's a size part of this, but if you're working on Photopea, I'll show you how you can make sure that you have that size. Just keep watching. I'll show you. You're going to have some type layers. That was an assignment we did earlier, and you have to have some type layers because you have to communicate if you're doing something for a YouTube channel, you have to kind of communicate what's the channel about. The channel probably has a name. It ought to be an indication of what it's about. Is it about farm equipment? Is it about fishing? Is it about making bread? What's it about? Gonna have to work on style, use some style, things like outer glows, inner glows, drop shadows, strokes. Gotta have some style. Going to be looking for a little thoughtful design and effort put into this. Can't just slap something together in 5 minutes and say, well, okay, that's good enough. You're going to have to do a little better than that. And just using some of the things that we've talked about, whatever they might be, right? Selecting things out of pictures and using them. You're building a composite image. So you go grab this out of that picture and grab this out of that picture and use things like gradients or the paintbrush or whatever you need to get the job done. But we've learned some Photoshop things, so let's see them in action here. So those are the requirements right there. Okay, now like I said, a lot of the step-by-step stuff here, I'll show you here in a minute when I get over to Photopea. You're not really going to have to worry about setting the width and the height. It'll do it for you pretty much, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, I will talk you through this whole with a YouTube banner. YouTube banner is a very kind of odd thing. If you're going to look at a YouTube banner on a TV screen, then you can design things all over the entire canvas. But if you're concerned about, okay, what if somebody looks at it on a laptop or a desktop computer? Well then, and I'll show you, but you have to put the most important information in the middle third of the screen. Because somebody who is looking on a laptop or a desktop computer, that's the only part they're going to see. And then if you take it a step farther and say, well, what if somebody's looking at my YouTube channel on their phone? Well, then you have to use the middle third of the screen, but don't go all the way out to the edges. You have to kind of squeeze it in and put the important information in the middle third and in the middle, right? Don't go way out to the edges, because on a phone, you're probably not going to be able to see what's out there way out to the right and way out to the left. I'll show you more here in a minute when we get over to Photopea. Let's see. You got to make sure you communicate what the channel, and you can make it up, right? I mean, if you want to make a YouTube channel for Billy Bob's farm equipment and put some tractors on there and stuff like that, that's great. Go ahead. Or it just has to communicate what the channel is about. You could make it up, or you could make something that you're familiar with, or maybe you have a YouTube channel and you want to make a real bit of channel art for you. Use things we've done in class: gradients, filters, magic wand, quick select, layer mask, type layers, layer styles, blend modes. All of that stuff is in play, right? We've been doing lessons, and this is kind of what it's been leading up to. All right, so put some of that stuff to work. Turn it in when you're done. And now I'm going to hop over to Photopea here. And first of all, I'll go to my YouTube channel. Now what you're looking at here is my YouTube channel. And so when we're talking about a banner or channel art, we're talking about this right up here. Okay, that's what we mean right there, where it says Area 1027, Digital Media, Computer Science, Business IT. When you're happy, you know, click OK. Got this illustration of me, which I created, by the way. I did it a long time ago, but That's an illustration of me and some symbols here that I use in my classroom just for decoration, right? So that's my current YouTube channel art right there. Yay. Okay, let's go over to Photopea. Now, here is, this is, you see some similarities, but it's not exactly what you were just looking at. This is one version of it, and if you look over here on this layers panel, you can see a whole bunch of layers going on over here, right? Bunch of type layers up here that say like business, IT, digital media, computer science. When you're happy and you know it, click OK, right? All those type layers. There's type layers over there. I've got some symbols in the corners, and these, again, I'll show you more about the whole design thing, but these symbols that I have in the corners in the top right and the top left and bottom right and bottom left, they wouldn't, if you were looking at this on your phone, you wouldn't be able to see those symbols. They wouldn't show up. The only part that would probably show up on your phone is right in here where it says Area 1027 and has my classes. When you're happy and you know it, click OK. That might show up on your phone if you went to my YouTube channel. If you're looking at it on a desktop computer or a laptop computer, you'd probably see this gray bar and you'd see me and you'd see this text in here, but you would not see all the stuff up at the top or down at the bottom. You wouldn't see all that. It's just the way YouTube works, right? So the layers are all, you know, this is mine. Now I'll tell you what, when I do something like this, I give myself options. I'm going to come along here and turn off some layers and show you some things. Here's another version of it, right? And these are just different things, different layers, like what I did there. See if I can show you. Let me turn that off for a second. I went out, this layer number 3, I went out and I looked for, I did a Google search for tech background, and I found that, all right? And so I just copied it and pasted it and put it in there. And then here, this is just blue paint, but this layer is on overlay blend mode, all right? I just took a layer, I made a new layer, and I painted it with blue. And then I switched the blend mode to overlay. And because it's on overlay blend mode, it lets that tech background show through. Right? And so that's what you have to do. You have to play. You have to get in there and play and experiment and try stuff. Here's another version of it. This one, and this is more like what you saw back here on my actual YouTube channel. If you look carefully at my banner that's there. This is a scratched metal. Let me take the blue off first for a second. I did a Google image search for scratched metal, and I found this image. It was just like gray scratched metal. So I saved it, and then I opened it, and I copied it, and I pasted it. And that's stuff we've done. We know how to do that. I hope you know how to do that. All right, and then, again, I've got this layer that I painted. I just took a blue paintbrush, and I painted it blue and put the blend mode on overlay. So that's why the metal looks blue, because there's blue paint on overlay blend mode. So I gave it a blue, you know, and that's what you decide. Do you like that or not? I could turn that off and just go with the gray, right? Or I could say I don't like the scratched metal. I'd rather have the tech background. Or here's another tech background that I found. I found this orange one, and then I also did this version of it where I I kind of painted in this gray bar that goes across there. Right, so it's a matter of playing around and deciding, okay, what do I like? Right, when you're happy and you know it, you got to work to make yourself happy. You got to try to make something that you think, yes, this looks cool, I like it, and it should express what's the channel about. I think you can look at mine and tell. All right, this dude must be a teacher. All right, digital media, computer science, business, IT, sounds like a teacher to me. And if anybody has any of my classes, this all sounds very familiar. When you're happy and you know it, click OK. I say that all the time in my classes. And if you have these classes, you know you have those classes. So, see, my YouTube channel exists to support my class at school. So that's why I built it the way I built it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this and say, yeah, okay, good. Now, so here's what you'll do. When you get to Photopea, and I'm just going to show you, I'm not going to build one in front of you, but you'll do new project. And here is a key for you. Right over here, there's a setting for social. And it probably is going to come up set on that anyway, but there's a setting for social right over here on the left-hand side, right there. And if you'll look down in the middle, There's a thing here that says YouTube cover. That's it. It's exactly what we want. So that's going to set your size, right? So if you just go social and go YouTube cover, that's it. That's perfect. And then you come right here and say create, and you're ready to roll. Now I want to show you. And I'm just going to kind of mark this up a little bit. I was telling you about how the whole thing with, if it, like I said, if let me get a paintbrush, and red's okay for now. If you're viewing a YouTube channel on a television screen, which some people do, they use their TV and they go to YouTube, right, on their TV. You could put stuff anywhere. You could, when you're designing, you could put pictures or, whatever. You could put stuff all over this whole thing. And if you're on a television screen, you'd be able to see all of it. You can see, you don't have to worry about where you put things if you're designing for a television screen. But if you think, well, okay, my audience might just be looking at my YouTube channel on a desktop or a laptop computer. All right, well, so then here's the deal. I'm just going to roughly mark this off. If that's true, then when you design the banner art, when you design this thing, you're going to want to put the really important stuff, the stuff that you really want to make sure that people see. It's going to need to go in that part of the screen. Don't put anything important up there. And don't put anything important down here. And that's if you're designing for like a desktop computer. If that's what you're most concerned about, then that's what you need to do right there. Okay, put stuff in the middle third, not in the top, not in the bottom, and put the important stuff in the middle third. The stuff, yes, it's really important that people see this, like the name of the channel or other text things that you might want to put on there. Now, I'm going to change colors here. If somebody's looking on a phone, then what you got to do is kind of, don't put anything way out here on the edge. Kind of squeeze it in. You maybe even need to squeeze it in a little bit farther than what I did right about there. If you're concerned with the most important things showing up on somebody's phone, you think they're going to look at my YouTube channel on their phone. So the most important stuff's going to have to be in here. If that's what you're concerned about, if that's what you're thinking about, right? Phone. This is the area on a YouTube banner that's probably going to show up on a phone. This isn't. This isn't. This will. Right? This area right in here. I should change colors again and make that even more visible. All right, so like that area right in there is the most visible for a phone. This area, if you're talking about a desktop or a laptop computer, well, it's anything in between these lines. That's going to work. Should be fine. Should be okay. But if you're talking about somebody's going to look at it on a TV screen, man, you can go anywhere you want. Well, you can put stuff all over here if you want to, right? Okay, so then what you got to do here, I'm going to get rid of my chicken scratches that I just made. You're starting with a blank background. And you just start deciding what am I going to put on here? Is this banner going to be about a YouTube channel for baking or fishing or video games, or what's it going to be about? And then you start thinking about colors and things like, well, okay, so do I want to put like a gradient on here? Is that what I want to do? Do I want to start with a gradient? And then, you can add a layer. You can go get pictures off the internet. You go collect things, and maybe it's going to be about tractors. So I go look for, I don't want Tractor Supply, but I go look for images tractors. Boom. And I go look for, and see, I find this one right here, which it has a plain white background, which what that makes me think? I could probably either use the quick selection tool or the magic wand and get that tractor selected out of that background pretty easy, right? Because it's on a white background. There's a whole bunch of these on a white background down here. right? Look at all those, and they're more like lawn tractors, but you see what the thing I'm talking about is you'll have to go get stuff, right? You're gonna build some kind of YouTube banner, and so you're gonna have to go get stuff, pictures, objects, whatever you're going to put on there. Now you got to work on putting them on there and build it. When you're all done with this, you'll just go. I should have named it when I made it, but you'll just go. I think they need a save as that allows you to. Oh, I wonder if save as PSD. Does this let you change the name? No. I thought it might. All right. Anyway, when it's time to save it, you can just do File and Save as PSD. And when you do that, it will save on your my brain. It'll save on your Google Drive, and then you can turn it in when it's done, whenever you get it done. Okay. So that's it. That is the idea behind the assignment that we're working on now. It's a matter of taking the Photoshop stuff that you know, whatever you know and understand, use it. And trying to make this Photoshop YouTube channel art. All right, off you go.